Welcome back to the Webby and O'Neill channel, and thanks for joining us for another video. Bit of transfer news regarding the goalkeeping position. Also, a little bit of news as well surrounding Antony, who's on loan at Real Betis. Get involved as usual, have your say, because we'll try and discuss some of your comments throughout today's video. Did you enjoy your weekend, your bank holiday?
Yeah, nice rest. Got over the loss against Brentford, but hey, enjoyed myself. We're back and we're ready to go. Bit of transfer news here now.
Yeah, a bit of transfer news surrounding Andrea Onana. A lot of people on our YouTube channel comment about Andrea Onana regular, really. Probably more than any other player. Maybe on Power Garnacho. And there's a lot of comments there, I'd say 90%, who have sort of washed their hands with Andrea Onana and what I see another goalkeeper brought in this summer. Milinkovic-Savic from Torino. He's being linked. Now, what's your thoughts on it?
Well, I've looked at this fella. He's absolutely massive. Now, I've got to be honest, didn't know much about him. Done my research, looked at him. What a giant of a man. 6'8", one of the biggest goalkeepers in the world, to be honest with you. Absolutely. Gets down on the floor so quick for his size. Massive presence. I'd be shocked, and I mean shocked, if United didn't pursue the interest what's being shown in these reports about him coming to Manchester United. Absolutely massive of a fella, and a presence like I've not seen in a goalkeeper. I didn't know him beforehand. He'd been to United when he was a young lad, but Kieran will fill you in on that as we go along.
Yeah, he did come to Manchester United, but I don't think he could get a work permit, so I think we ended up selling him, or I think he left on a free when he was about 17 years old to a club in Poland, yeah. I think it was. But for me, I've looked at the highlights, and to be perfectly honest with you, I'm not going to give a full opinion on him based on highlights just off YouTube. I mean, as you know, we can clip up the best bits of Andrea Onana and he can look like a 50, 60 million pound goalkeeper. So for me, I'm going to reserve judgment on him just yet. You know, some of the bits that I have seen, yes, it does look good. He can get down quick. For a big lad who's 6'8", he can move his feet quickly. But I'm sure there's going to be clips out there as well, what you might find,
howlers,
where it's actually the howlers from him as well. So people out there who've actually seen him regular, watched Torino play, seen him over 90 minutes on a regular basis, I'm asking for your help in letting us know and what you think of him. So any of you out there who have seen him, please get involved in the chat and let us know.
Yeah, the reports, I'm not too sure. Does it signal Man United are looking to replace Onana? I look at the reserve goalkeeper and I think to myself, not good enough. Is he going to come in? Possible as a reserve goalkeeper. But what you want someone to challenge each position in the team. And Onana's not got that. So I don't believe they're going to get rid of Onana. But this giant of a man, right, bringing him in will put pressure on Onana. You looked at Onana, got dropped. Not just from the team, from the squad, because of his confidence and that. So that tells you something's wrong and people are looking at it and they're not too happy with him. So bringing him in, listen, Onana could get an injury. This fella could step right in straight away. But you just don't know what's going to happen with Onana. People are talking about him, oh, he's going to get sold and all that. I don't believe it. I just don't believe it. I think they're going to give him another year. I've been disappointed with him. 2 years at the club. It's just not good enough. We all know that. But looking at this fella, I think he could be brought in to put pressure on Onana. And if Onana carries on making mistakes like he has done, then this goalkeeper can step straight in and dominate and possibly take Onana's place. Or they might just say to themselves, for the price tag, what's out there, he's got a release clause.
17.1 million.
Yeah, and that ends in July. So for 17.1 million, is that too much to pay? I don't think so. Is it too much of a risk? I don't think so. And I think you have to bring somebody in because Onana's not been pushed. But I look at the player and I say to myself, he commands the line. He commands the air. And he's saving when he's going out to the left or the right. Fantastic saves, what I've seen. But as Kieran says, there's probably someone ready to produce a load of howlers from him. But as a man looking at him there, you want the presence. Big, strong man. I can't see many people knocking this fella off the ball. But he gives you confidence. That's what I've looked at. So he will put pressure on Onana and could possibly take his place if United go for that release clause, which ends in July.
Be interesting to see as well some highlights or clips. Like I said, asking for your help earlier on, what he's actually like as well with the ball at his feet. As we know, these modern day goalkeepers, they need to have that in the locker where they can play out with the short balls and try and be like a bit of a press resistant as a goalkeeper, you know, beating it when they're actually pressing the opposition. So yeah, any information like that, well, I don't care how much it costs. We need a goalkeeper, not can challenge. I want a goalkeeper that's better than Andrea Onana. It's as simple as that. And I've always said that, you know, it's enough time for a player over a season, well, a course of 2 seasons to show his worth at Manchester United or any other football club. And I've not seen anything consistent in a positive way from Onana that tells me he can turn the fortunes around next season. If this goalkeeper's good enough to be Manchester United's #1, whether it's £17 million or 70 quid, get him in.
Yeah, I can't argue with Onana's performances. They have been poor. Some people will say shocking. It's not been good enough for Manchester United. You want a top goalkeeper. Is he the top goalkeeper? I've not seen enough of this fella. Just not seen enough of him. But what I have seen, I think he can challenge Onana without a doubt, and possibly take his place, because I don't see Onana turning it round. I don't think he's capable, to be honest with you. That's my personal opinion. I've liked Onana when he first came in. I thought he would be exciting and everything. But for some reason, it's just not working out. He seems too static on the line. He's poor shot stopping and like not clearing the ball out. He seems to be just like putting it back into the danger zone. So we do need a change, I think. We do need a challenge on Onana. That's if the club make contact with him, because the reports here are saying he's on the short list. That could mean anything. It sort of gives his price tag 17.1 million, but it's not saying that there's been player contact. He's on a short list, and quite right, he should be on a short list, because what I've seen, he is a massive presence, will not get pushed off the ball, and he will give confidence from corners, free kicks, everything else like that. And we don't have that with Onana. But the goalkeeper, the reserve goalkeeper, Bayindir, I don't think he's good enough. I've never really shouted about him. He's come in once or twice, but for me, doesn't command.
It's all over the place.
Well, I know he's
a goalkeeper in the penalty box. Yeah, he might come and claim 1 or 2 balls, but his positioning on the line as well, it doesn't fill you with any confidence. It looks like he's erratic and he's not really sure on where he needs to be on his line as well. Look at the couple of goals against Brentford as well. Yeah, it didn't fill me with confidence whatsoever. And, you know, we need to build a winning culture at this football club where when you are given a chance, whether you're 17 or 32, you need to take that chance over the first or the second game that you play. And for me, he's not took any of the chances whatsoever. What fills me with confidence to say, yeah, he's Man United's #1 and he will be for the next 5 years.
No, he's not took his chance, definitely not, because there's not been outstanding games. No. And I think if he was an outstanding reserve goalkeeper, he would have already been in challenging Onana, and Onana would have been dropped a long time ago with the howlers what he's made. It's all about confidence, and Onana doesn't seem to have it. Bayindir doesn't seem to have it. I'm not saying he's a terrible goalkeeper. He's just not good enough. What you have to have is a top goalkeeper, someone who everyone sort of like doesn't worry about, as if to say, I've got the confidence in my goalkeeper. He knows what he's doing. But I looked at him from the corners. He is absolutely dominant. And I mean dominant. He clears it out, no messing about. But when he gets down, he shocked me. He absolutely shocked me how quick he was to get down on the floor. But for me, I can't see United selling Onana yet. I think they'll just persevere and try. And for the cheapness, what it is, and it is cheap, £17 million to go and get a reserve goalkeeper to push Onana. I think really they should go for him. But like as I say,
I know you keep
there's no confirmed reports. Yeah, I keep saying it. Right,
yeah,
because
reserve goalkeeper, we need a #1.
I didn't say I said he can challenge for the #1 spot. Okay, once Onana makes a mistake, he has to have pressure put on him. Onana's not had pressure put on him from behind, so he's been able to get away with it by bringing in this player. You need 2 players in every position, and I think he will push Onana. Whether Onana succeeds, I very much doubt it. I very much doubt it. So to bring him in, right, is the right thing to do as far as I'm concerned, because I do like what I've seen of him on the clips, what I've seen today.
Don't get me wrong, Onana at the start of the season under Erik ten Hag, I think the first 5 or 6 games, he started pulling off some saves. I remember the one away to Crystal Palace, and it was a double save, and I think he's done more as well. You look at the Southampton away game early in the season, I think he produced a penalty save, and it makes you think that if he wouldn't have produced that at that moment, would Manchester United have actually gone on and won that day, which I think it was 3-1. So there were some moments from him this season where you thought, aye, he might be turning a bit of a corner here. But ever since then, especially when Ten Hag got flirted and he went out the door, Amorim's come in, I've not really seen anything from him where it's a consistent basis. Yes, goalkeepers, the position that they play, they make a mistake more or less, or 9 times out of 10, it does lead to a goal sometimes. So you've got to look at it from that viewpoint. But it just doesn't give me any confidence whatsoever. I think about his attributes, the quickness of moving his feet across the line, not good enough. Coming out for corners, sometimes he's all right at that. I think that's probably one of his better attributes, to come out maybe and get a punch to the ball. Shot stopping from long range, again, quickness of his feet isn't good enough. And does he have that presence about him? I know he's a confident guy, and Ruben Amorim said that as well, especially about his presence in the actual changing room. Is a good character to have. But I think that calmness and confidence, it goes over the line of arrogance for me with Andrea Onana, and I just don't think it works. I think he needs to go back to basics, and I still believe he's got that aura about him in his own head, and that arrogance that he's still a top goalkeeper, instead of like humbling himself and thinking, right, I need to get back to basics here and start producing some good moments for this football club, because if I don't, I'm out the door. And I just think that he thinks he's still a top goalkeeper. No goalkeeper should be sort of looked at as if to say, oh, he had 5 good games. Yeah. 5 good games. Yeah. I mean, my God, that's just not good enough. Paddy Roach. You want a goalkeeper, right, what is solid game after game after game, right the way through the season. Every goalkeeper will make a mistake, but all we've talked about for 18 months and more about Onana is the mistakes, and the people in front of him aren't confident. You've seen it time and time again. Players just looking at Onana and walking away shaking their head when he's made a mistake. We've gone mental on it. You can't keep having a goalkeeper making mistakes on a regular basis and then talk about a #1 goalkeeper for Manchester United, the biggest club in the world, right, and saying he had 5 good games. He had 5 good games. But that is not acceptable in anyone's language. So for me. But do you know why that stands out, the 5 good games? Because the majority of it has been poor. So when he's had them 5 good games, they stick out in your mind, because in actual his performances, the great performances, if you know what I mean, if that makes sense to you out there, because the rest of it in the 18 months or so has been really poor. Well, so them 5 games at the start of the season, in my mind anyway, they stick out. Well, it's really poor when you're talking about he's a good presence in the dressing room. That's what Amorim said. I get that. That's what I'm coming on to. For Amorim to come that, he's just trying to defend him in whatever way. He's a great guy, good in the dressing room and all that. I'd be good in the dressing room, right? I'd be a great guy on that money. But the problem is he hasn't got any pressure on him, right, to improve. It's as simple as that. And this goalkeeper would. So I do invite you all, and I'm telling you, go and look at the YouTube clips, especially on this goalkeeper. You've got to turn around and say, straight away, I'm having him. And for 17 million, I'll say it again, it makes sense. Absolutely makes sense to bring him in. And if he does replace him, fine. I'm happy with that. But I just don't think Onana's had any pressure put on him, and a goalkeeper needs pressure. He needs someone behind him, right, who's ready to jump in on him. And any decent goalkeeper would have been in way, way, way before Bayindir got his chance and Onana was dropped, because Onana would have been dropped, as far as I'm concerned, a long time ago if there was a goalkeeper pushing him, and we haven't had that, and Bayindir isn't the answer. Just diving into the chat, Lee Jones, thanks for your super chat, mate. He says, I can't see us getting a goalkeeper in the summer, lads. Something just popped back into my brain that we actually discussed, I think a couple of weeks ago, that he has actually gone and bought a new home in Manchester, Cheshire. Andrea Onana recently as well. Was it about £3.5 million luxury mansion? It looked great on the photos. So is that a bit of a sign that really, yeah, you might be right, Lee, might not be getting a goalkeeper this summer, or at least Andrea Onana will still be at the club in the summer?
Well, I've said for a while, upset a few people. I've said I do think United are going to keep him. Said it 2 months ago, because I think they're going to give him another year. I would have. He's had 2 years, just not good enough. Bring in a goalkeeper. So we'll just have to wait and see. Listen, he might have bought a £3.5 million mansion, but at the end of the day, he might be renting it out soon.
Yeah.
You just don't know.
No, I do agree. You've come back, Lee Jones. Thanks for your super chat. He says, where's the money coming from, though, Tony?
17 million. It's not a lot of money. United have already talked. We talked about Delap, Cunha, fine. They're the goal scorers. Bringing them two in is great. Maybe a midfield player. We did speak about one. Okay. I just look then, the goalkeeper, for 17 million, it's nothing. And if you look at the combined fee, if United end up spending 150, 160 million this summer, that's fine. That's fine. But the one problem is a centre-half, if you're going to bring in a goalkeeper. But for 17 million, they'll find 17 million. They wasted that on Dan Ashworth.
Yeah, you've got to look at a lot of the redundancies that they've made as well, saving money, and take you back to a lot of the time Sir Jim Ratcliffe, is being interviewed, and he's saying a lot of cutbacks that they're doing across the board at Manchester United is also to reinvest into the playing squad. And you've just got to take his word for it. You know, if you don't see the signs of it, I mean, by all means, then, you know, have your rant, have your frustrations, take it out. If Ruben Amorim's not back this summer, I don't expect it all to be fixed this summer. Don't get me wrong, I still think, and I stick to, that it'll take 3 summer transfer windows to see some real progress, not just improvement, because I need to see that at the start of the season, next season, but I mean real progress on that 3rd summer transfer window. So let's hope that what he has said about investing into the playing squad, where the money comes from, I don't care, and I'm not bothered. That's not our job as fans to come up with them solutions. It's the people inside the football club. That's their job to find the ways, and let's hope they do, because they need to.
Well, if you look at Malacia, he's going. You look at Rashford, you look at Sancho, you also look at Antony. Okay, there's 4 players what are already out the door. There might be 1 or 2 we might be able to pick up some money on. So I don't think the money's going to be a problem this summer. We spent on Dorgu in January. That's it. I think there's plenty of money. And when you look at all the players what are leaving, contracts over, Johnny Evans, for instance, Ericsson, Lindelof, there's a few players leaving, and we might sell 1 or 2 more players as well. So there's money there. Okay, I don't believe Ratcliffe when he turned round and said last year by Christmas we was going to go bump and all that. Just don't believe him at all. You know, 2 billionaires running a football club will go and bump. I don't think so. I think the money will be there. I think the savings on players what are leaving with wages and everything. I think they're doing the housework. They're doing it correctly. They're getting rid of all the garbage inside the club. They're getting rid of waste. That's how they're looking at it, and they're ready to rebuild. And Amorim has come in when he didn't want to come in, and he's prepared now in the summer. He keeps hinting at a few things, what he's going to do, what players. It'll be a lot of youth work. We've seen players coming in now. So I haven't got any worries about bringing in 3 outfield players and a goalkeeper. I've no worries where that money's going to come from. None at all.
No, I do see that. But the big question is as well, with what we've been seeing as fans, United fans, game after game with Onana, is there going to be any clubs out there? And I mean, top clubs who have got that financial muscle to come in and buy Andrea Onana this summer. I don't think there is. I only think the possible destination is the one to like Saudi, maybe one of the clubs over there. If you're looking at a good transfer fee, because I think that transfer fee, was it 45 million we paid for Onana? I think that's getting paid over the course of his contract at Manchester United. If I am wrong on that, let me know. But it's a massive amount of money that we paid for a goalkeeper. Will we recoup even half of that? I very much doubt it. I only see a team who's going to actually purchase Onana. We should not watched him regular. We
shouldn't have to worry about what we're going to sell him for. You know, we're just interested in on the pitch. Let Ratcliffe and that deal with that. Listen, if we sell him for 10 million, it don't matter. He's not good enough. It's just not good enough. Most people out there, it's just not good enough. #1 goalkeeper for what we regard as the biggest club in the world. Not a chance. He has to vastly improve over the summer to get his place at the start of the season. That's how I look at it. That's how a lot of... We shouldn't be worried about losing money on him. If they want to get rid of him and they want to bring in this player, Savic, then at the end of the day, bring him in and just move Onana on. And whatever we sell him for, so what? We're starting again. We're starting again. Ratcliffe's give it the big un, right? He's going to run this football club, okay? Get us back to where we should be, challenging and everything else like that, right? So he's starting again and just clear the debts, just clear everything, right? And start again. And these players, what are there? So what? I don't care if someone costs £100 million. It's not good enough, and we have to sell him for 10 million. So what? So what?
Yeah, to get that. I mean, from a fan point of view, listen, if they're not good enough, they're not putting everything into it, just get them out of the club.
That's
but
right.
Obviously, we know it's going to be a huge impact to this football club financially than to reinvesting to get the players that we actually want. We know we're not on the good side of it on the financial terms, but at the end of the day, like we mentioned before, and I said that, you know, that's not up to us to worry about. That's up to them inside the club to worry about and to actually put the money on the table to get this club back to where us fans are actually proud of this team and proud of this club as well, week on week, because it's been a very, very long time, especially with some of the decision-making at the top at this football club for many of a year now. So, you know, I'm hoping that Ratcliffe does sort all that out. Do I trust it? No, I don't. But time will tell. I'm not just going to go against him and the people inside there just because of certain things that I see and I'm not fully on board with. You know, patience is needed, and I still think patience is needed as well with some of the younger players here at Manchester United, like your Garnacho, like your Kobbie Mainoo. Rasmus Højlund, will he get another season? I actually do think he will do, but I do think a top striker will be brought in, so Rasmus Højlund will actually watch more games from the bench and make some cameo appearances to try and improve next season.
Look, patience is needed, we all know that, right? But there's no patience with Ratcliffe anymore. I'm telling you now, there's no patience. He's had plenty of time. He brought in this manager after messing it up by not getting rid of Erik ten Hag when he should have done, okay, because he was going to bring in Ruben Amorim this summer anyway. That was the plan. No, he has to get it right. He has to spend. There are no excuses, none whatsoever. He's here to sort out the football, and all he's done, right, is just decimated inside there. And I'm not saying it's all wrong what he's done, right, decimating the working staff, okay, because there's people in there who are just not good enough for the job and who are just earning the money. Well, just taking liberties. But Ratcliffe, there are no excuses. No one can give Ratcliffe an excuse. He was brought in to sort out the football inside of it, and all he's done, he's got a 17th, 15th, 16th, now 14th. It's an absolute joke, okay? And we're in that Europa League semi-final on Thursday, and if we get through, which we all know we should do, right, and win it, and if we win it, that does not excuse what Ratcliffe has done to this football club. He's the one what's made the mistakes, kept the carnage going after the cup final. He was frightened to death of a fan backlash, the media backlash and all that. So no, get it right this summer. Spend the money, it's there. Get rid of the deadwood in there. There are no excuses. Every player in there, what isn't good enough, should be gone, and there should be no excuses. And there should be players lined up, okay, the first week in the transfer window and brought to Manchester United. No excuses. These people think they know what they're doing. Well, they've had plenty of time, so get it done this summer. Or I'll be on your back, and I will be on the back. Because I'm not having it. I'm not having it no more. I'm not having it from lame excuses from players. I gave up on Rashford. I was sick to death of that player 2 years ago, okay? Before you back your players, you back your manager. Always back me, manager me, right? But these players, nah, not having it. The world's changed. These players have changed. Their attitudes have changed and everything. The way they conduct themselves on and off the field. Nah, not for me.
Totally different.
This summer, of course it's a different era. Every 10 years is different. But they're driving me absolutely mad. They're driving me mad with their attitude and the way they go on, okay, for what they're earning. It doesn't make sense.
Which players drive you mad?
All of them.
Yeah. Any in the current squad or?
All of them.
Okay. Fred Grantham, thanks for gifting 5 memberships, I think it was. The 5 people who've been gifted their memberships. Give a big thank you to Fred. Now, another little bit of news, what I did come across, and that was to do with Antony, who's on loan at Real Betis. It was from one of the, I think it was a Portuguese publication, saying that Manchester United have set a price tag between 40 and 50 million euro. Now, I did see the screamer that he scored over the weekend. One of them, what we was used to be expecting from him in a United shirt, when he cuts inside from that right-hand side onto his left, pings it into the top corner. And it was some goal, I've got to be honest, but we've never seen it in a United shirt, did we? No,
but if he's scoring goals and he's playing well, then he's worth £35 million of anyone's money, okay? He just can't do it in the Premier League. So he seems to have found his level of football. And he is playing well, you can't take that away. But he's just not up to the standard of the Premier League. He disappointed after about 2 months at Manchester United. Couldn't hack it physically, mentally. There was something wrong with him. He had his off-field problems and that. But he seems to have found home, and that's fine. Yeah. I'm happy with that. So we made a big mistake with the fee. We know that. We know what went wrong. Absolutely nuttiness. But the thing is, right, if we get 35 million for him, that's great, because he is performing, and you don't want to have your pants pulled down when a player is performing, and he is doing really well there. So fair play to him. He's turned it round, and I hope he goes on to do well, to be honest with you. But getting a transfer fee out of Real Betis,
it's going to be tough, the size of the club.
Well, they've been crying poverty for a while, haven't they? Do you know what I mean? So you might get 35 million over 4 years with him. But hey, let's see. But fair play to him. He's turned it round, and I like that.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I still think they'll do the best, and they actually will get it done with a move for Rashford this summer to another club. I know I keep seeing that he's got his eyes set on Barcelona, which for me personally, I always said from day one, he doesn't want a permanent move to Aston Villa, even though he's gone on loan there. I can't see him going to Barcelona with some of the wide players, the forwards that they've got over there. But I'm more confident that we'll get a sale with Antony sooner than we would do with Rashford in the summer.
Rashford couldn't even keep up the work rate in Barcelona reserves. Trust me. The work rate, what's needed for Barcelona, you've seen it. We've all seen their games recently, right? Non-stop, bang, working all the time. Pass a move, okay? He can't do that, Rashford. Not done that for a long, long, long time. I am telling you now, the work rate what's needed to play for Barcelona, he couldn't get in Barcelona reserves. And if he ends up going to Barcelona, how that works out, how he got there, I haven't got a clue, because it is a mystery to me. And if he does go to Barcelona, he will be embarrassed.
Yeah, Unai Emery as well, who I regard as a very good manager. You know, I was a little bit surprised that he's taking the risks there with Marcus Rashford, and especially when he's got the likes of Ollie Watkins there. What's the feeling amongst that group now, where Ollie Watkins might be thinking, you've tried to replace me here with Rashford. He's currently injured. So it'd be interesting to see what actually goes on there in the summertime. Let's hope as well that Aston Villa do put a decent bid in for Rashford in the summer, and he does change his mind and he wants to move to Aston Villa. Is that all dependent as well on Champions League football? If they qualify for it, who knows? But I'm just a bit more confident with Antony. Glad to see some good performances from him. So it's actually putting him in the shop window where it's possibly not just Real Betis that will be interested in him in the summertime. So I
think there'd be 1 or 2 teams interested in Antony.
Yeah, I do.
But I just don't think anyone will be interested in Marcus Rashford because of all the baggage. You know, he's not playing for Aston Villa. I've just seen people bullying Marcus Rashford, who has always really played well at Aston Villa. I just don't see it. I'm absolutely gobsmacked when I hear pundits and ex-players talking about how he's revitalised his career. He's not revitalised it. Not in my opinion. I mean, I'm using my eyes and the eye test. I'm either going blind or I've got cataracts.
Yeah, I don't see any Aston Villa fans, though. Not that I'm scouring the web every day or social media, but I'm not seeing Aston Villa fans raving about him. You know, like demanding like the club do put a bid in for him because they want to see him in an Aston Villa shirt in the future. And I've only ever seen 20 minutes of good football from Rashford, and that was when they played PSG at Villa Park. And in the actual second half, I thought some of the things that he did do, I thought, oh, that's the Marcus Rashford of when he burst on the scene under Louis van Gaal. I mean, but it's 20 minutes. I thought that 20 minutes in that second half, me and you were watching that game all at least texting
Don't stick
each other.
me in.
I'm just
don't
saying.
Stick me in as though I've got to agree with it.
No, you don't have to agree with it. But I know you was watching the game because me and you were texting each other. And I thought he had a very decent 20 minutes. And that's all I'm going to say. But the majority of games that I have seen, I just don't see any improvement there. But
20 minutes in 4 months.
Yeah, I've not seen every game, but the game that I did see, 20 minutes. And
stuck me right in there.
No, I've not stuck you.
No, you know my views on Marcus Rashford, and I think the majority of people out there have got the same views. This man doesn't work. His work rate is absolutely poor as anything. His attitude stinks, and he's not wanted to be really putting it in playing football for a long, long time. And the quicker we get him out, what a nightmare it would be if he was still here.
Yeah, hopefully we hear some positive news as well, especially in the next couple of weeks or so. I know the actual transfer window doesn't open until like around about the start of June, is it? Around about the 10th, 14th, normally it opens. But we get deals done early for the likes of Kuna. I like Liam Delap as well from Ipswich. I know a lot of yous out there think we need a more experienced striker, and I do understand your reasonings for that. But I do think that's a player that will definitely improve. But more importantly, can take the weight of that shirt as well, Delap. I actually do think he's that type of character.
Yeah, listen, you talk about Kuna and Delap, both used to the Premier League, both score goals in it. And if you put them two on the pitch here at Manchester United, you've got two players what work consistently right throughout the game, used to the Premier League and score goals. And that's what we're missing. So for me, I'm going with them two, definitely. And I would go with this goalkeeper just on the little bit what I've seen. Even if he ends up the reserve goalkeeper, right? The presence of this man, I'm shocked that I knew nothing about him beforehand.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, I'd love for two strikers to come in this summer, but I don't think the money's there, let's be honest with ourselves. But it wouldn't surprise me if we did then see either Højlund or Xerxes loaned out for next season or even sold so we can bring in that second striker. But let's wait and see what happens this summer. Let's hope we have a good one as well and a positive one, just so we can be positive as fans going into the new season that we will see improvements.
Well, improvements.
I hope so. I really do.
Talk about improvements. All the reports out there for the last 2 months, I just don't know what's going on because we've been linked with about 40 players and that's just absolute madness. Very rarely do we really go on about transfers, people speculating and that. But this goalkeeper, for me, I thought it was worthy of speaking about him because once you've seen him, you'll know what I'm talking about. And when we talk about Delap and especially Kuna, I think they're well worthy of us talking about it. Not, oh, this report, take it with a pinch of salt. I'm sick of talking about pinch of salt, okay? But it just seems to be that because United are so poor on the pitch, okay, that's all what's being talked about. And, you know, 3-4 players, main players, get them in, and then you just never know. Extra money might come along with a few extra players sold, and then we might end up with a few more players. So the quicker we get them in, that is the priority. And if we've not got them in the first week, okay, we haven't got them in the first week, that's down to Ratcliffe. Simple as. And his team. Because these players should have been identified and sorted out before the season ends.
O'Neill blows up. I can see it maybe coming.
But I'm entitled to blow up, right? I'm entitled to blow up, right? It's been a disgrace. I look at last summer and he brought players in. So I'm not going on for going on's sake, okay? But this season, it's more important that we get them in early.
Okay, I agree with that. Let us know what your thoughts and opinions are in the comment section. Just to read off as well, with you talking about Milinkovic-Savic from Torino, Fabrizio Romano did say that United have added Milinkovic-Savic to their shortlist for a new goalkeeper. He also confirmed reports from Matteo Moretto from Italy, where he says initial talks took place for the Torino goalkeeper among candidates for next season, waiting for the price tag and more. So there is definitely some substance to this report, in my opinion. Let us know what you think. But yeah, I think Manchester United are on the lookout for a goalkeeper this summer, in my eyes.
Well, you'd be surprised if they weren't on the lookout for a goalkeeper, not just to bring in as a replacement, like a lot of people want with Onana. You'd want to bring in a really good goalkeeper, right, as a reserve keeper to push Onana and ready to jump in his place if he didn't turn it around at the start of the season. Because you can't continue through the season, early doors, him making the same mistakes again, because it tells you straight away he's not learned. So you'd want someone ready to jump in, and this player just might be the one.
Thanks for getting involved, everyone, with your thoughts and opinions today. A good read, to be honest with you, about obviously the goalkeeping situation. Antony, a lot more people having their say as well on Sir Jim Ratcliffe and what they expect this summer and going forward in turning the fortunes round at this football club. So yeah, if you've enjoyed the video or you want to support the channel, please smash a like on the video, and we'll be back tomorrow with another chat. So get that notification on, and we'll see you again soon, Reds. Thanks for joining us. You enjoy the rest of your day and take care. Thank you.
Thank you very much.